everyone. I want to say thanks off to Gearbest.com for sending this to us for review. As you can see here, we've got the new Syma X5UC. So this is the X5-7 replacement. Basically, this is the newer version of their beginner quadcopter with some really awesome features. So I definitely think that this is probably going to be the X5C killer. It's a great quad, but with the improvements on this one, I think this is going to be a much better quadcopter for basically similar money as the old X5C. So let's go ahead and get into it and talk about the quad. So first thing, you're going to have obviously your normal features on here. You can see you've got your prop guards. You do have a camera. It's a 2-megapixel camera that's forward facing. You don't have a down facing angle like you did on the previous Syma. So that's a big plus, not having that down-facing camera. You will have 360 flips, of course. You can flip it in the different directions. You've got the 2.4 gigahertz transmission, so you've got a solid connection with the quadcopter. And with the new Syma, you're also going to have the hover function, basically altitude hold. So it's going to make it really super easy to learn how to fly. You raise it up, set your height, and it's going to keep that height and make it that much more easier to learn how to fly. You can first learn your roll and your pitch management and your yaw, and then you can slowly move into the throttle positioning. That's probably one of the biggest things that when I talk to people that they have struggled with is trying to keep it in the air and then trying to turn. So having that altitude hold and then just having to focus on pitching and rolling and turning the quad, it just makes it that much easier. So let's go ahead and take a look at what you get. So obviously you will have a nice foam insert here that comes with it. You're going to have your user's manual, which is actually pretty decent. The English in it is really good. They've definitely taken note with the Chinglish, Chinese English manuals, and they put a really nice manual here. Some of the words aren't perfect, but it's a lot easier to understand than some others that I've done and read before. So good job, Syma, on a decent manual. That is important, especially for a beginner. So let's go ahead and get into the box here and see what you get. So this is basically how the quad comes packaged inside. You've got the new red and white design. You've got the propellers already installed on the quadcopter, so that's pretty nice with the red caps and the nice Syma red around the outside of that white, which looks really sharp. So there's two versions of this that are available from Gearbest. There's one with just one battery and one with two. Luckily, I got the one with the 2 batteries, so I definitely recommend picking up 2. If you don't get one with the 2, you're gonna want to order another battery. So you might as well just pick up the one. I think it was only like $3 difference between the two. So this is a proprietary connector from Syma on this battery, so do keep that in mind. They're doing that to kind of capture the market for their quadcopters so they can make more money off the batteries, which makes sense. Nothing wrong with that. It's a little unfortunate, but no big deal because these are pretty cheap. They're really not that much more expensive than just the plain old batteries, and the fitment of it is really cool. You don't have to worry about finagling with wires or anything like that. You just plug it in and go, which is really cool. So if you got a pocket full of these, it makes flying that much nicer and quicker and get you in the air faster. So this is a 3.7 volt, 1 cell, 500 milliamp LiPo battery. So it's a pretty decent sized battery. I'm getting really decent flight times, anywhere between 7, 8, 9 minutes, just depending on how hard you're flying, the wind conditions. I had a really good maiden flight with this on the battery life, so really decent. You do get a USB charging cable as well with the quadcopter, so you will have a charger for that proprietary connector, which is nice. It takes a little over an hour to charge that battery from this USB charging cable, but it does work. So keep that in mind. You want to get some batteries, charge them during the evening or when you've got some time. Don't leave these unattended, but charge that up, and then you can have a couple of them at least. With this setup, you're going to get 2 batteries, which is awesome. so you get you know, some good flight times on there. You've got a red LED that will light up and turn off when it's done charging. So nice little USB charging cable on there for that connector. You're also going to get a full set of prop guards as well. So these prop guards are nice if you're going to do some indoor flying on there. You can, you know, just hook them right up here to the inside of these arms, and there's a couple of screws on the bottom side of them. Let me get my camera to focus here, but there's a couple of screws on the underside of them that you just tighten those right in to lock those into position. So that's nice for indoor flying. Outdoor, it's okay, but you know, I get rid of those usually when I'm doing outdoor flying. Another thing you're going to get is a screwdriver. So you will have the screwdriver with this one so that you can tighten everything down. And then you will have a full set of spare props as well, along with an SD card reader. So you've got an SD card reader. Mine did not come with an SD card, so I'm not sure if they're supposed to. I'll double check the description. I'll leave a link where it shows it. Sometimes with these testers that I get, they've been used before, but this one seemed like it was brand new. So as far as I can see, you don't get an SD card, so you will have to supply your own, unfortunately. But usually when they add these, they usually give you one, so that was why I was a little confused. But anyways, you've got the SD card reader, you've got the spare props on there, and then they give you an extra battery. So it's really awesome. They give you that extra battery so you don't have to go looking for another one, especially with this proprietary connector. So pretty awesome. Give you a spare battery on there to go along with that. But just talking about the build a little bit on the Syma, really nice build. I had a really hard crash, you know, from a pretty high, where I had a low voltage cutoff and it hit the concrete, and everything held up just fine. I think this is going to be a really durable little quadcopter. Aside from maybe burning up some motors here and there, I can't see a lot going wrong with this quad. Everything's pretty nicely put together. The plastics seem pretty decent. It's a fairly lightweight quadcopter, so it shouldn't have too much inertia to really bust this thing up. So I like the design of it overall. It's just a nice looking quad. So again, talking about that camera on the Syma X5C, the really popular one, you know, it has kind of a downward facing angle on the camera. Obviously they heard the complaints and they finally put more of a you know, a horizontal camera so you can get more of a little bit more footage rather than ground footage the whole time, which is pretty nice. That's a 2 megapixel, you know, just kind of a little pinhole camera on there. So pretty nice. It does come uninstalled when you get it, so it comes on the side, and you just plug in that little wire pretty simply, and then you just put it in and then just lock it in the position just like that, and you're good to go. You've got your little micro SD card slot right here on the back side of it where you plug it in, and there's a little light that will turn red when you're recording, and it flashes all of the lights when you take a picture. So I'll attach the video, of course, at the end of this as well, so you can see how that video looks. But just build quality, design, I like it. Unique, awesome Syma look to it with the new red and white. Good job on that. Just a really nice looking little quad. I think it's going to be perfect for beginners. So taking a look at the transmitter here. So this is a really nice feeling transmitter. We don't have our normal trim tabs, unfortunately, like you will. But I really didn't see a whole lot of need for trimming with this one, but you know, that does lack that, although you do have some trim selection in this by tapping into it, and then you can, I think it's actually tapping and holding, and then you can kind of give it some trim, I believe, for probably yaw or maybe for throttle, obviously not your pitch and roll. On the top of the transmitter, you've got some switches here. You're going to have an auto one-touch takeoff and one-touch land, and then one-touch flip, but you're going to press it and then hold until it accomplishes the flip, so whatever direction that you choose. So that works really nice in tight flips. So again, your photo up top and video here. So nice transmitter, feels good. Batteries that do require, you are going to require 4 AA batteries for this transmitter, so obviously you want to make sure you have those. And this is for the W version that has the little mounting clip, so this is nothing to worry about there. That just is a little filler that they put on there. So nice feeling transmitter. It's got some good feel to it. The gimbals feel pretty nice and smooth as well, so I like that. On the transmitter, good job there too. So let's go ahead and jump right into the flight footage and we'll see how it flies. Okay, we're out today with the new Syma X5UC. I want to say first off thanks to Gearbest.com for sending us to us for review. So this is obviously the predecessor for the X5C, the really popular quadcopter with the camera on it. It has a straight angle to it instead of a down facing like to the ground, which is really nice. So we're going to take this thing up, see how it flies, and at the end of this video I'll show you a little bit of flight footage too as well. So really awesome design on this. I really like it. Obviously it's just like one that I've just previously did a review on the X5UW, which is the Wi-Fi version. This is the C version, which is just going to be a camera on it. So but really awesome styled quadcopter. It's going to have altitude hold as well, so when you set it up it's going to keep its height based on the altitude that you've pre-selected. So really sweet looking design. I like that they finally, you know, changed up the design, and hopefully not a lot of people will clone this quad, you know, like they have in the past. So anyways, just looking at the coloring, I like the red is really cool. I like that a lot about the last one. They did a white with red, which is pretty nice. That's really the Syma look, red and white, which is sweet. Little props on there with the little red prop caps look pretty sharp. Those are geared brushed motors, of course, and then you will have LEDs on the bottom as well. So let's go ahead and power this thing on and take it for a flight and see how it flies. So we're going to put it on the level surface, turn our transmitter on, and we're going to power the quad, and we're going to go up and down, and it should be bound now. So just to go over the transmitter here with you, so right here is going to be your one key takeoff and landing, which is really awesome for beginners. Then you've got your flips, and you give it direction. So one key takeoff and landing, flips. Then on this side you're going to have your photo and video here. Yep, you're going to have your photo and video here. And then this, if you press this in, you're going to select through the rates. With a light press, if you touch and hold, that will put you in headless mode. And then on the left side, touching and holding will get you into the trim. So apparently you've got some throttle or some altitude hold trim. And of course this does center off. So if you give the stick some throttle, it does put the motors into idle. So let's go ahead and do the auto takeoff. Whoops. Pretty windy out right now. So let's go ahead and start the motors again by pressing up, and we're going to do auto takeoff by pressing that button. And we've got a really good breeze from my right, probably a good 10 miles an hour or so. So keep that in mind when you are flying these quads, these altitude hold quads in the wind. It does change the barometer a little bit and will push that quad up and down. So keep that in mind. So this is our low rate. You can see our roll. Hopefully we can see that here. It's a white quad, and we've got pretty light rather background. And our forward pitch, let's go ahead and bring it back. So pretty docile flyer. This should be really smooth for taking video. So if you want to, you know, go around the neighborhood and take some video, looks like it's pretty stable. And let's go ahead and tap into that right stick. And this is our high rate now. You got two rates, low and high. So this is our high rate, and we've got a ton of wind from my right. Now obviously you can't see it, but I don't know if you can see the grass at all, but those blades are getting whipped to the left. So we're fighting a lot of wind here. So we're just gonna float this around here and see how this flies. Very smooth. This thing's handling this wind really nicely. Punching through that wind nicely. Got a very sporty feel to it. The altitude hold is working really well considering this wind. I like this. Very smooth, expected feel, turning and dealing with this wind. Very nice. It feels more responsive and more expected than the W version, the Wi-Fi version. I don't know why that is. Some people have stated that the Wi-Fi is interfering with the transmission of the quad, and that might be the case. So, getting pushed around a lot by the wind here. I lost orientation on it. There's one thing with this being all white, you kind of lose orientation. Kind of easy. You might want to put a little red tape on the front arms, which would go along with the color scheme. But very smooth. Nice flyer. Very expected. Doing really well considering all this wind right now. And the altitude hold is working pretty decently. I definitely like flying this in high rates. Let's go ahead and bring it back and take a look at that yaw. Hopefully we can see it here. Bring it a little bit closer. So this is low rate yaw. Not bad. Getting pushed a little bit from the wind. Bring it up into high rate. You can see it thanks to that wind pretty well. Alright, and let's take a look at the yaw rate on high. Be a little bit closer. Definitely speeds up. We've got green LEDs in the rear and red on the front. Syma is not listening to us about the colors that we like on the front and rear. At least me, I like green or blues on the front and red in the back. But anyways, it's got LEDs, so that's nice. It's handling this wind very well. This is a maiden flight with this quadcopter. I've not flown this before. So this battery has not been cycled a couple times. Typically your batteries will last a little bit longer when you cycle them a few times. But if you get this package, obviously, you'll get 2 batteries, which is awesome. You won't have to worry about picking up more, especially considering the proprietary connector. But nice and sporty. Not super fast, but it's a good expected feel, and it fights the wind really well. So this is a nice cold October day with a nice breeze from our right here. So this is real world flying. It's not perfectly warm and sunny and no wind, which is a good demonstration of the quad. So I like it. I like how it's flying. Hopefully that video footage I'll show you comes out well. This is definitely a nice around the house flyer, backyard flyer. Let's go ahead and see if we can do a range test on this. Actually, before we do a range test, let's try and do a fail-safe here. Let's do a fail-safe test. I'm gonna bring it close to me here. Make sure this thing isn't gonna fly away. All right. So we're gonna give it some throttle, and we're gonna do the auto takeoff and land. So it should be like it's flying. We'll turn off the transmitter. 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi, 3 Mississippi, 4 Mississippi, 5. So it does have a 5-second cutoff, so keep that in mind. That does work well, but it is 5 seconds, so 5 seconds is quite a bit of time. If it's really high, it can travel some distance, so keep that in mind with that. Let's see if we can do a range test on this. I'll go ahead and turn on back the transmitter. And let's go ahead and take it out and see how far this goes. Try to keep it low so we don't lose the craft. Wow, that's really, really far. I'm gonna go ahead and bring it back because that is plenty of space. I mean, that was probably a good at least 200 feet. That was really far. So I say for what to expect with this, I mean, you're not gonna fly a quarter mile or anything. And you know, it's more of a around the house park flyer. This is more than enough distance on control. So that was really decent. I mean, it turned into a little speck. I couldn't hardly see it, how far it was. So I wouldn't worry about distance with it. And I like that it has the cutoff if it loses transmission with the transmitter, which is nice. And guys, we're still flying. This is great. Still flying. This is again maiden flight. Lots of wind from my right. We're still in the air. Just add this little section in here in the middle of this flight. It does do flips again, so you push the button and then give it direction, and you want to hold the direction. So press and hold, and then it does the flip. So it does nice and tight flips. That was a left flip. There's a right flip. Forward flip. And a rear flip. So it flips very nicely. Nice, tight, good power flips. See? I feel like we might be losing a little bit of power, but maybe I'm wrong. Very sporty, smooth, stable, expected, good power, fighting the wind well. No complaints from me on this one, guys. Just need some red tape on the front arms to help with orientation. Other than that, it's flying really nicely. Very nice. I was afraid it was going to get blown away by this wind, but no problems at all. Whoops. A little crash, kept going. Wind has died down just a little bit here. Nice, nice. Good job, Syma, on this one. Syma, whatever you want to call it. Altitude hold, auto takeoff and land. Camera, not FPV, but you know, if you want to do some recording around the house, just for fun, this is a nice beginner quadcopter for sure. Nice and stable, easy to fly. Altitude hold is going to make this super easy for a beginner. It's so easy to fly. Even with all this wind, it's just flying super easy. Look at that. Nice. Good job, Syma. Thumbs up on that. I like it. And we're still friggin' flying. We still have power. That's awesome. Oh, that's it. So that's going to be our low voltage cutoff, guys. Let's go ahead and so that's our flight review of the new Syma X5UC, courtesy of Gearbest.com. Again, thanks to them for sending this to us for review. So really awesome flight times. I love the styling of these new Symas, whatever you want to call them. Transmitters are really sweet looking as well. They feel really nice in the hands. And if you're going to pick one of these up, definitely recommend picking up the package with the 2 batteries. I will leave a link in the description as always if you want to pick one of these up. I'll leave the one for the 1 battery and the 2 battery in the description down below in the video. But this is a really awesome beginner quadcopter. I think anybody would be happy if they've just started flying quadcopters, or a new beginner, or even an intermediate, just for a nice background, backyard flyer. I think we'll be happy with getting this. I think this would probably be a really awesome Christmas gift. So, Syma, good job. Continue up the good work. Thanks again, Gearbest, for sending this to us for review. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If so, please give me a thumbs up. If you have any questions, give me a comment in down below. And as always, please subscribe, and we'll see you on the next one. Thanks again for watching.